when they pulled me out of the water, I had been dead for 20 minutes. Wow. Yeah. I think to have a second chance of life and be able to sit here and talk to people about it is it's priceless. I want to share my story because I sit here, I've got a second chance of life. I don't want other human beings to go through what I went through, which is both shocking, traumatic, and indeed continuing to this day. If I can alleviate the pain, the suffering, and raise the awareness, then I'll be happy, man. My proudest achievement to date would be becoming a world champion in 2018 as an elite master swimmer. It made me feel an out-of-body experience, the euphoria, the emotions. I'm not the type of guy, I'm quite humble, and I didn't believe that I'd got the power to do that. Some people call it an imposter syndrome. But the family and everybody around me, international swimmers came up to me and said, do you realise what you've just done? And it didn't really sink in. I'm a very fastidious type of guy, and I plan things and I do achieve things. When I first met my swimming coach, which was, got to be 13, 14 years ago, and I said I wanted to win the European Champions, I was wondering why on earth she wanted to be involved with me. And she says, I know you, Nick. She says, I know you're committed, and if I set you a target, I know you're going to achieve. And she says, be brave, be courageous, and do not surrender. And that sticks with me in every race that I go into. The first opportunity of open water swimming came about, it must have been way back in the 80s when triathlon came onto the scene, and I didn't like cold water. Somebody said to me, you can't even swim with a wetsuit. Why on earth would you want to go into a lake and go and swim for a mile? You wouldn't do it. There were medals, there wasn't money or anything at the end. So I duly did it, came out, and again, I found I'd got a bit of a prowess at this. I was coming in the first top 3, 4, 5. And then competitive open water swimming came on, and I were absolutely knocking it out the park. And somebody said to me, Nick, do you know where this can go? Where could it go? And my story started from there, really. The journey to get to the top 3, 4, 5 places in open water swimming was difficult, and it hadn't been trodden before. And I really, really wanted to race the best of the world. I didn't want to do it in the UK and just look at people's times and fight with these people in the water. The driving force behind me wanting to become an elite swimmer and being up the top was I wanted to be number one. I chose swimming because I have an affinity with the water. It relaxes me in the water. Even when I'm racing, I float in it. Well, as one with it, yeah. My earliest memory of water, I think probably when my father threw me in the pool. I was in the pool there with those, I think they call them armbands, yeah. I chucked them off. So yeah, I've got some good memories from being a youngster. What makes a professional swimmer, an elite master swimmer, is somebody who's got determination, dedication, can deal with adversity, has a massive amount of resilience. Prior to the event, my health was, I believe, really, really good. I didn't take any heed to that because I thought I was invincible. So we arrived on the day, 30th of July, and I was going for, it's called a Triple Crown, which I'd won before. And this would be my 10th consecutive year of winning the national championships. So we started off, the weather had changed a little bit, the water started getting choppy, and apparently I'd got to 3 kilometres just the other side of the lake, and my heart stopped. And then I went into cardiac arrest. When they pulled me out of the water, I had been dead for 20 minutes. Oh, I've stared death in the face, absolutely. Oh. Yeah. My first conscious thoughts when I woke up in hospital were, how has this happened to me? When I live a healthy life, I exercise, I couldn't piece this together, because the vision or the thoughts of somebody having cardiac arrest, heart attack, probably not somebody who looks like me. I was informed what had happened, where I was, and my initial answer was, did I win? I was so lucky. The fact that that event happened at an organised event, we could do the what ifs. I go swimming through the winter months by myself. I've swam in lakes, I've swam in the sea. Those thoughts occasionally used to go through my mind, and as I've said, that I've been given a second chance. I did have thoughts about me not being able to walk, not getting through that event. Everything had been taken away from me, and that's one element that does trouble me sometimes. Having a partner who witnessed me being pulled out of the water, and when I saw Max in hospital, it was I think I wanted to just say I'm sorry, because, well, could it have been prevented? We didn't know. I think to have somebody like her alongside and be present certainly gave me strength throughout it all, and realise that, we're not invincible. My immediate recovery from the cardiac arrests in hospital, having undergone the open heart surgery, I started putting little building blocks in place as to how I was going to set a plan to get myself better again, which at the time I didn't play it down. The one consultant said, he says, I'm going to give you a golden nugget, Nick. He said, you will get back to swimming where you were, if not better. And Mags, bless her, started laughing. Don't tell him that. My rehabilitation from that point, I didn't tell Mags this at the time, I was going to enter or work towards the race where I died 12 months' time. And that was my start to my rehabilitation. I had that thought at that moment because this hadn't happened ever in any swimming event in the UK, to my knowledge, no open water event, and no other elite swimmer had come back to racing or swimming at that level. So I said, why not me? They'd already said my physical ability was second to none. In terms of me returning to the pool was less than 12 weeks. The emotions, the mental ability, wanting to go for a walk up a hill to the following day not being able to walk 10, 15 meters, fighting over my physical ability, but I'd got that resilience and that tenacity to think it's got to get better. I can't be the only person that this has happened to. When I was in hospital and I first woke up a couple of days later, once visitors were allowed in, one of my dear friends bought me these. I have an affinity with ducks. I have done for many, many years. And the consultant said to me, I say, you've got your ducks in a row. So you've got your ducks in a row already. And he says, if you can continue with that vein, you know, you'll get through this. They're all in a smooth little line. I was in hospital. I wanted it to go smoothly, and I knew in the back of my mind that because I'd got things planned, it would go smoothly. Did I return to the place where I had my heart attack, where I've stared death in the face? Yes, I did. I got 2 silvers. To get 2 silvers in an event really where I'd set a plan, and that plan came to its fulfillment. The Sunday we arrived, I wanted to swim. I was nervous. I was very happy to see lots of people. One lady who'd given me CPR, they were happy to see me. But I fought back the tears all day. I really want people to be more aware of their own bodies. My knowledge of cardio health prior to my event was limited. I had no underlying signs, conditions, or highlighting the fact that there was an underlying heart issue. No history in my family whatsoever of cardiac heart issues in any way, shape or form. Prior to my event, I'd never seen anybody have a heart event open water. I've seen people pulled out of the water but have been conscious. The dangers that can be presented in open water swimming, so there's 2 facets to this. Cold water shock. People think just because it's 25, 30 degrees they'll go to the sea. The sea will only increase a few degrees. People who go into cold water, and the flip side of that, they think, oh, this is nice, they'll stay in there 5, 10, 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, this is without a wetsuit, they'll come out of the water, stand on the beach, lakeside, and think, oh, that's fantastic. Then they start shivering. This is called a second drop. So your body has acclimatized with the water, but you've got no clothes on. Your body is still, and your heart is still trying to pump blood to keep things going. So your skin is very cold to the touch. If you don't warm up slowly, again, the potential can be scary. Heart attack, cardiac arrest. Heart attack is a plumbing issue. Cardiac is an electronic impulse around the heart. If somebody collapses on the edge of the street, their heart will still be pumping. They may have pains in their arm, their neck, feel as if they've got something stuck in their throat and trying to cough. Medical attention needs to be called for immediately. If somebody has had heart attack and then subsequently goes into cardiac arrest, that means their heart is not functioning and they need CPR in order to get the heart pumping again. I want people in society, if they come across a person who's having a heart attack, to do something, pick up the phone, and either put them in recovery position and be aware, but they need to know the telltale signs. Most people look at somebody and they'll have been mowing the grass, or I've got tingling in my arm. It's not associated with a heart attack. They'll carry on. Recently spoken to a lady who was walking the dog. She thought she'd got something stuck in her throat. She carried on walking, went back. She even drove herself to hospital, and she was having a heart attack. What keeps me going today? My second chance of life. The fact that I was lucky. They go hand in hand. It's given me an opportunity to get out there and talk to people, raise this awareness, and highlight the necessity for CPR. My life has changed 100%, and I've changed things, and indeed looked at the way I live my life in terms of my work-life balance, and enjoy it. And it's got to be enjoyable.